Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's talk about the Zim Dollar just a little bit, because people ask me all the time, Pimpy, how come you don't talk about the Zim Dollar very much? Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is I'm not a huge fan of the Zim Dollar. When I first started looking into investing into currencies, Zimbabwe was one of the ones that was really super hyped. And I got pulled into it a little bit, but after doing research, I said to myself, okay, let me put it this way. Zimbabwe in Africa over there, Iraq, El Salvador, Venezuela, Vietnam, these are some of the richest countries in the world, and they have the cheapest currencies. And you have to ask yourself why. Now, look, there's no secret that our country here has a habit of drumming up. We need a regime change, and then we go over there and overthrow the government. We destabilize the government and use that as an excuse to devalue the currency, send over our major corporations, rip them off of their resources with cheap labor because the dollar is so devalued. And they continue today. So what I do is I take a look at the different countries and go, okay, well, what has to be done? But if I had to rank the Vietnam dollars to Iraq dollars to the Zimbabwe dollars in order, I mean, Vietnam's already got their crap together. The problem that they're dealing with is an extremely corrupt government. Now, Iraq is getting their feet back on the ground, and they're doing all the right things to get their economy going, to bring security there, to regain their sovereignty, and do something about corruption. But every time they take about 2 steps forward, they almost seems like they're taking a 1.5 steps back, which is good because before they would take 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. We need things to calm down there. But out of the 3 currencies, if any of them had a chance to revalue or be reinstated, I think it's Iraqi dinars. Zimbabwe is way down on the totem pole. They keep changing their currencies, changing their minds. They can't get anything right. The problem is they have an extremely corrupt government. So you could change the currencies and you could give them reform all you want. But until they do something about their corrupt government, nothing is going to change there. So nothing is going to happen to that currency, despite what all those so-called truthers are out there saying. This is just my opinion, of course. We'll get more into it. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button, because when you do, it helps us get past the algorithm that YouTube puts on us and keeps us from being shadow banned. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. The disclaimer here is I'm not a financial advisor, a lawyer, or an accountant. The information that I share with you, I do freely. It is of my own opinion. Hey folks, just a quick reminder that back in 2008 and 9, a lot of people lost all of their retirement savings in their 401ks and IRAs because they did not own gold and silver. Yeah, that's right. Gold and silver protects you from a market crash. So do yourself a favor, protect your retirement by purchasing gold and silver. You can go to moneymetals.com, reach out to them, and they will help you set yourself up to protect you and your family from having to start all over from scratch. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they will send along with your order a free ½ ounce of silver. So folks, do yourself a favor, head on over to moneymetals.com and protect you and your family from a market crash, as well as inflation. That's right, head on over to Money Metals when you want to buy gold and silver. Keep in mind, if you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free ½ ounce of silver. Hey, right now, a special offer for my audiences only. You have a chance to win 100 free American Silver Eagles. That's over $3,000 in value. And all you have to do is enter your email to win. That's it. That's right, there's no obligations to purchase. The link is down below in the description, so head on over there, enter to win. You have between now and December 31st of this year to enter. The only way you can for sure not win 100 silver American Eagles is by not entering at all. So do yourself a favor and enter your email so you have a chance to win. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right here. As everyone is aware of an alternative website, the link is down below in the description. Over here, I post original content as well as other videos that have been banned from YouTube. It costs $3 a month to join for unlimited access, and all proceeds go to finding life's purpose. So come on over there and join us. Beware of scammers. That's right, people posing and pretending to be me. How you can tell us apart is real simple. If you post a comment and I respond, you will see a dark circle around my name. See this? It's either gray or black. I won't be sending you to WhatsApp, and I won't be sending you to Telegram or Telegraph or anything like that, nor would I be asking you for money. From time to time, I will be using material that's considered copywritten. I post this just to show that I am exercising my fair use rights. So back to the Zim notes here. When people say, well, Pimpy, I got a bunch of them. Here's the thing. Some of you guys got the older bills, and I don't even think they're any good anymore. I asked people to look into it because I showed about a year ago when they said they had redeemed those particular dollars. The older ones, the big, the $1 trillion, but they redeemed them for like some ridiculously cheap price. That's because they're switching over to these bills right here. You can see the denominations are much, much smaller. So people say, how much, or people ask me all the time, how much Zim dollars do you have? I have 0. I do not collect and invest in the Zim dollars at all. Now, if you have, what I say is this, just put them to the side and wait. I'll keep an eye if something happens. I'll definitely let you guys know. I check on them from time to time, but that would be huge news. Now, I heard all the rumors out there. Yes, I know those people in the truther side talking about how they got their sitting on the board of something in the QFS system, and I heard all that already. I told you guys to be careful from all that BS. Tell them to give you receipts. Tell them to prove it to you. So let me show what I'm talking about here. Economic reform won't fix Zimbabwe's economy. Ethical leadership is also needed. This article just came out, a few days ago? About 10 days ago? The Zimbabwe economy has continued to experience turbulence despite having managed to weather a devastating spell of hyperinflation, which peaked in 2008. One economic area which has remained a thorn in the flesh of ordinary Zimbabweans has been the volatile currency. The country has struggled to sustain a stable currency. The Zim dollar was the official currency between 1980 and 2009. In the wake of hyperinflation in 2009, it was retired and the country transitioned to a basket of mostly regional but also some global currencies. In 2019, remember I was telling you in 2019, something changed. The multiple currency regime was replaced with a new currency, which was named the Zimbabwe dollar by Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. It is now the only legal form of tender in the country. The implication of Zimbabwe currency rules has been that the foreign exchange rate has continued to be largely determined by a parallel market. This has its deep roots in speculative activities that were rife during the years of hyperinflation and which has persisted. They're talking about you guys, people who invest in the currency. Price of goods has thus continued to be dictated by the parallel market, and foreign currency has remained in short supply. Speculators continue to engage in activities that rake in quick profits at the expense of the economy in Zimbabwe. Speculators include influential political figures, businessmen, and ordinary individuals. In a bid to stabilize Zimbabwe's currency volatility, changes and ease shortage of foreign currencies, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe introduced a foreign exchange auction system in 2020. But this didn't liberalize the foreign currency market, as the bank has interfered in the auction in an attempt to control the exchange rate. See, always the governments, and that's all the way around the world, getting in the way of what's best for the people. You see, we're here in the United States. We have capitalism, but it's not free flow. It's not a free market capitalism. It's a manipulated capitalism. A good example of that is look at gold and silver. Stock market, all of them are manipulated. In my view, economic reform alone cannot end the country's economic crisis. Instead, a more economic interventions. Zimbabwe society needs to self-introspect and assist in resetting the country's ethical compass. I am urging for this approach from a sociological perspective with ethics. My doctorate focused on the response of the working class in the capital Harare in Zimbabwe, hyperinflation and political crisis in 2000s. One of my key findings was finding that a lot of workers' ethical principles have been eroded, so superinflation kicked in. These sometimes bordered on corruption and speculative activities. Yeah, there's a lot of corruption in there. They won't leave the currency alone. They won't just do reform. Now, you see, this is the same issue that we were having with Iraq. The people at the top of the totem pole can care less about the people. There was a lot of corruption there. They got rich while the rest of the people became poor. That's happening here in the United States. So if Zimbabwe wants to do the right thing to get the value of its currency up, it needs reform like Iraq's doing, and it needs good leadership like we believe is in Iraq. To kickstart the much needed ethical regeneration of Zimbabwe society, political leaders need to take the lead in the fight against corrupt and speculative activities. Rhetoric that purports to castigate corruption and putting in place economic measures to alleviate Zimbabwe's money woes will not suffice. And you can see here, in Sankara, the president of the Burkina, anyways, from 1983 to 1987, enforced a rule that the country's political leaders publicly declared their financial assets and wealth before being sworn in. Another good model is the U.S.'s approach to asset declarations by politicians. It forces transparency and abilities to civil society to have the asset declarations audited. What the problem is, they're just as corrupt, the people doing the auditing. They don't do anything when they find out somebody's violated these policies. Nobody ever gets in trouble. We all know they work with they manipulate the hell out of stocks. We know this. They've been caught doing it this year. Nothing happens to them. The big problem with Zimbabwe is this. You could give them all the reform suggestions that you want, but until the leaders themselves stop being corrupt, you're never going to get anywhere. This thing right here has got a very slim, if at all, chance of changing. Something major would have to happen. So when people go, should I sell my Zimbabwe dollars? Well, I can't tell you whether to keep them or sell them. That's up to you. I'm just saying I personally don't have any. So as much as I know a lot of you have bought Zimbabwe dollars, I still report the news on it whenever I find any information on it. But people keep asking me how come I don't do very many videos? Because there's not a whole lot at the moment. If something changes, I will let you know. But personally, I do not have any Zimbabwe dollars. I have the Iranian rial, the Vietnam dong, the Iraqi dinar. Those are the foreign currencies that I have. Anyways, that's it, you guys. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.